Before this is over, you're going to see more than 1,000 years unfold in front of you, every crown placed on a royal head, every betrayal whispered in torchlit corridors, every battlefield where the fate of a nation hung in the balance. From the first ruler to truly call himself King of all England to the monarch on the throne today, this is the complete, unbroken story of the English and later British crown. We'll move steadily through time, watching dynasties rise and collapse, seeing how moments of triumph were so often followed by chaos. And as we go, imagine the faces behind the names reconstructed from chronicles, tombs and fragments of evidence, human beings who shaped the course of history. By the end, you won't just know their names. You'll understand how each reign connects, one to the next, in a chain stretching nearly 1,200 years. Our journey begins in the age of the Anglo-Saxons with Aethelstan, the first ruler to unite the patchwork of Anglo-Saxon kingdoms into a single realm in 927. Before him, there had been kings of Wessex, Mercia, and Northumbria, but not of all England. That changed after his decisive victory at the Battle of Brunanburh in 937, where a vast alliance of Scots, Norse, and other rivals was crushed in one of the bloodiest clashes ever fought on British soil. In that triumph, the idea of England as one kingdom ceased to be a dream and became reality. He was followed by his half-brother, Edmund I, who took the throne at just 18. Edmund fought fiercely to secure the north once more under Anglo-Saxon control. Yet his life ended abruptly and violently stabbed to death by a thief during a feast at Puckelchurch. He was only 25. His brother Edred succeeded him, driving out Eric Bloodaxe, the last Scandinavian king of York. Deeply religious but chronically ill, Edred died young, unmarried, and without an heir. Then came Eadwig, Edmund's eldest son. His reign began in scandal when Bishop Dunstan reportedly dragged him from bed with his mistress and her mother to attend his own coronation feast. Humiliated, Eadwig exiled Dunstan to France. His rule was brief and troubled. He died mysteriously at around 20 years old. His younger brother, Edgar the Peaceable, restored stability. Under Edgar, England saw rare peace from Viking raids. He reformed coinage into a unified currency and reorganized the land into shire structures still recognizable today. Though small in stature, he commanded a formidable navy said to number thousands of ships. After Edgar's death, his teenage son Edward the Martyr ascended the throne. He defended the church against nobles encroaching on monastic lands, making enemies in high places. After only 3 years, he was stabbed while accepting a drink at Corfe Castle, allegedly at the instigation of his stepmother. Later canonized, he became England's first officially recognized royal saint. His half-brother, Fellard the Unready, inherited a fragile kingdom at just 10 years old. Unready meant poorly advised, and his reign proved disastrous. Viking raids intensified, and in 1002, he ordered the St. Brice's Day massacre, killing Danish settlers across England. The backlash was swift. Sweyn Forkbird of Denmark invaded, forcing Fellard into exile. Though Sweyn's sudden death allowed Fellard to return, England never truly stabilized under his rule. His son Edmund Ironside earned his nickname battling the invading Canute. After defeat at Asandon, he agreed to divide the kingdom, keeping only Wessex. The agreement contained a cruel twist. Whoever died first would forfeit their lands to the other. Edmund died within months, likely assassinated. That left Canute the Great as ruler of a vast North Sea empire spanning England, Denmark, and Norway. Contrary to expectations, Canute proved effective and pragmatic. He dismissed much of his army and married Emma of Normandy, Felred's widow, strengthening legitimacy. The famous tale of him commanding the tide was no arrogance. It was a demonstration to flatterers that even kings bow to God. His reign brought relative peace. After Canute came instability once more. His son Harold Harefoot seized power while his half-brother was abroad. When that half-brother, Harthacnut, finally took the throne, he ruled harshly, imposing heavy taxes. He died suddenly at a wedding feast, collapsing mid-toast. The crown then returned to Saxon hands with Edward the Confessor. Having spent years in Normandy, he introduced Norman influences and rebuilt Westminster Abbey in a grand Romanesque style. Canonized after his death, he left no heir, triggering a crisis that would change England forever. His brother-in-law Harold Godwinson was elected king. His 9-month reign was a whirlwind. He defeated Harold Hardrada of Norway at Stamford Bridge, only to rush south days later to face William of Normandy. At the Battle of Hastings in 1066, Harold was killed, ending Anglo-Saxon rule. The victor, William the Conqueror, reshaped England. He replaced the Anglo-Saxon elite with Norman lords, introduced feudalism, and commissioned the Domesday Book in 1086, a vast survey of landholdings still preserved. Norman French became the language of power. William died after a riding accident, leaving a transformed kingdom. His son William II of England, known as Rufus, was controversial and unpopular. He died mysteriously from an arrow wound while hunting. Within days, his brother Henry I of England claimed the throne. Henry's capable reign was shattered by the White Ship disaster, which drowned his only legitimate son. Naming his daughter Matilda as heir, he hoped for continuity, but upon his death, his nephew Stephen of England seized power, plunging the realm into civil war known as the Monarchy. Peace came only when Stephen agreed that Matilda's son would succeed him. That son became Henry II of England, founder of the Plantagenet dynasty. His vast empire stretched into France, and he laid foundations for English common law. Yet his conflict with Thomas Becket led to Becket's murder and Henry's public penance. Henry's son Richard I of England, the Lionheart, spent little time in England, focusing instead on crusade and warfare. Captured and ransomed at immense cost, he died from a crossbow wound. His brother John, King of England, fared worse, losing French territories and clashing with the Pope and barons. In 1215, he sealed Magna Carta, limiting royal authority in a document whose influence echoes globally. His young son Henry III of England reigned long but weakly, facing baronial revolts and laying foundations for Parliament. Edward I of England followed, conquering Wales and warring in Scotland, earning the title Hammer of the Scots. His son Edward II of England suffered military defeat and was deposed, likely murdered. Edward III of England restored royal prestige, launching the 100 Years' War and founding the Order of the Garter, though his reign endured the devastation of the Black Death. Richard II of England, crowned as a child, grew increasingly autocratic and was overthrown by his cousin Henry IV of England. His son Henry V of England became a legendary warrior at Agincourt but died young, leaving an infant heir, Henry VI of England. Gentle and prone to mental illness, Henry VI's weakness ignited the Wars of the Roses. From that conflict emerged Edward IV of England, whose sudden death left child heirs, most famously Edward V of England, one of the princes in the Tower, who vanished after his uncle seized power as Richard III of England. Richard fell at Bosworth Field to Henry VII of England, who founded the Tudor dynasty and united warring houses through marriage. His son Henry VIII of England transformed religion and monarchy alike, breaking from Rome and reshaping England forever. His children followed in turbulent succession: Edward VI of England, the Protestant reformer; Mary I of England, who restored Catholicism with bloody consequences; and Elizabeth I of England, under whom England defeated the Spanish Armada and flourished culturally. With Elizabeth's death, the crowns of England and Scotland united under James I of England. His son Charles I of England clashed with Parliament, leading to civil war and his execution. For a brief Republican interlude, Oliver Cromwell ruled as Lord Protector before the monarchy was restored with Charles II of England. After him, James II of England was deposed in the Glorious Revolution, replaced by joint monarchs William III of England and Mary II of England. Their successor Anne, Queen of Great Britain, oversaw the 1707 Act of Union, forming Great Britain. The Hanoverians followed, beginning with George I of Great Britain and George II of Great Britain. George III of the United Kingdom reigned through American independence and Napoleonic Wars, later succumbing to mental illness. His son George IV of the United Kingdom indulged extravagance, followed by William IV of the United Kingdom, whose reign saw reform and abolition of slavery. Then came Queen Victoria, whose 63-year reign defined an era of empire and industry. Her son Edward VII ushered in the Edwardian Age, followed by George V, who steered Britain through World War I and changed the royal house name to Windsor. Edward VIII abdicated for love, bringing his brother George VI to the throne during World War II. Then came Elizabeth II, whose 70-year reign spanned an age of unprecedented change. And today, the story continues with Charles III, the latest link in an unbroken chain stretching back to Aethelstan. From battlefield coronations to televised ones, from medieval fortresses to modern palaces, this is the story of every English and later British monarch. 1,000 years of ambition, faith, conflict, reform, and survival. And now you've walked the entire path of the crown.